Hey everyone, today I want to talk about tools in the context of AI product craft. When we work with AI applications, there is reasoning and then there are facts. For example, questions like explain why this might be risky will require reasoning. And questions like why is this project red or green or amber will require facts. Similarly, in the context of a customer service agent, the order status is a fact, whereas some other information might not be a fact. It might require reasoning. LLMs can repeat facts from training, but they cannot access systems of record on their own because facts live in deterministic systems. Systems like databases, reports, logs, documents, and so on. And factual information should come from systems that always return the same result, systems that can results that can be checked and audited and are owned and maintained by human beings. If correctness matters, such as order status or the specific status of a project or similar factual information, then what product managers need to do is they need to make LLMs. That means they should write the appropriate prompts that make LLMs use a tool to access deterministic systems like databases, documents, logs, and so on. So, what is a tool? A tool is a piece of application code that reads real data documents, can return verified information, and something that works the same way every time. For example, if you ask a tool to get auto status, it always returns an auto status. So this is how a tool called Flow will work. In this case, let's assume a customer service agent. A customer will ask the agent a question. The agent, which is powered by the large language model, will realize that it needs facts. And then it'll ask the app to run a tool to fetch the fact. The tool will then fetch the fact, and then the model will take that factual information and explain and will explain the information to the customer. Um, using that fact. So since this is somewhat abstract, let's look at a demo of how this might work. So what I've done is I've vibe coded an application which simulates tool calling, and we are going to look at two scenarios. We are going to ask, this is a chat agent. Think of it as a customer service agent or an assistant agent. I'm going to ask the agent a question before providing it with access to tools, and then I'm going to provide the agent with a tool and then ask the same question, and we'll see the results. We'll see how the results vary. So first, I'm going to ask the question: why is the program status amber or red or green? In this case, I'm just going to ask amber. So I'm going to ask this question: why is the program status amber? And because it does not have access to any tools, and I have not installed any tools. In other words, I have not provided this um, agent with any tools. It should say I don't know the answer because I don't have access to your system or tools. And that's what it says. It says I would like to verify the status of program Atlas, which is the project, but I cannot do so because I do not have any verification tools installed. The tool read program status document is required to read and verify the program status from official artifacts. So please install it. So I am going to click on this button. Basically, I'm going to install the tool, and now the tool is available for this agent. I put this under a tools registry, and the name of the tool is read program status document. There is a brief description of what the tool does and who's the owner of this tool, when was it last updated. It also has information about what inputs it needs and what output format or output it provides. Now, similarly, product managers and engineers will create multiple tools. One tool could be fetch order status, another tool could be fetch verify program status, and so on and so forth. There could be a number of tools, and those tools could be made available to agents, your AI agents. Um, and then I'm also going to simulate a tool call here to show when an agent calls a tool, what happens. So now that the tool is installed, we know that the tool is now available for the agent. I'm going to ask the same question again about the program status. So why is program Atlas Amber? In other words, I'm asking, why why are you telling me that this program status is Amber? Verify that and explain it to me. So now it does now what it does is, based on my verification using program Atlas weekly status report, um, the program status is Amber. In other words, it's saying that I accessed a factual document via this tool and verified that this particular program status is Amber, and it's also providing more detailed reasons about why that program status is Amber. Now, the same thing could happen in an order status verification scenario as well. What is the order status of this order number? And it can say the order status is delivered, and I access this database using this tool and verified that this order status is delivered. In other words, it's explaining to us that it is not making up the answer. This is where I got the answer from. This is the answer. So here, it also I also showed how, what arguments were made. In this case, what the agent did was it called this tool, or this particular model requested this tool call read program status document, and it gave it the program ID Atlas, because this is the program ID, and this is the response that it got from that particular system. Sorry, from the tool. The tool gave the response that, this is the document title, this is created by this author, and the status is Amber, and then there is a pretty detailed description of why this status is Amber. So obviously you won't see things like this in a regular AI agent, because this will all happen behind the scenes. I built this small app to explain what exactly happens when you call a tool and how a tool can be designed. Um, Normally, what happens is there will be multiple agents in your product, and every agent will have access to multiple tools. Every tool will be created and provided to the agent by your engineering team. And when you're prompting when you're creating your agent using prompts, system prompts, and other context engineering, you will provide them with access to these tools, and you will explain to the agent that if you encounter a situation like this, you need to call this tool and fetch this data and explain this data, and so on. So product managers need to understand the purpose of tools. Product managers need to understand how to define a tool, and product managers need to understand how to use tools in combination with agents to um, accomplish very specific results. So this is an important part of AI craft. I hope that helps.